Welcome back to another video. I am Dante, the Backyard Buddha, and I help PACE members, that's people pleasers, anxiously attached, codependents, and empaths, master relationships and get into the best relationships of their lives. Now in this video, I want to talk about something that's very, very crucially important when it comes to attracting really attractive people and projecting, as I've talked about in my previous video I uploaded, this soulmate effect. So instead of chasing the soulmate to make yourself happy and to complete you, instead completing yourself, loving yourself, and projecting, giving this really irresistible soulmate effect, experience onto the other person. So one thing I really enjoy doing in my spare time is playing a specific online video game called Hunt Showdown. You're in this post-apocalyptic zombie cowboy western era. The guns are like single shot. You have little revolvers and pistols. You go into a map, you kill each other, you extract with a bounty, which gives you a bunch of money. It's a lot of fun. Now today I played a little bit in between content creation and reading and all my other really productive, empowered activities. And I had these teammates. One of them was really okay guy, good energy. The other one was more shut down, more logical. And while we were playing, if you asked a question, he would, let's say, for example, go on and on about, let's say something to do with, so you have these health bars, and you can have little small health bars or big health bars. And the other guy asked a question about, does a certain item replenish, just the big bar or just the small bar? Does it matter which it is? And the guy was like, well, it does replenish, the small bar or the big bar. It just kind of depends on which one you have. I think the meta though is big bars, but I'm not really sure what the meta is. And he didn't really say it even with that much passion. It was just kind of very monotone. It was like, well, you could kind of, do the big bars if you wanted, but also a little bar. It's just very monotone, lacked energy, lacked enthusiasm. And this is something that I want you to be aware of in your own communication. And because sometimes it can also be hard to audit your own expression, to have that objectivity, it's kind of tricky. That's why it's so powerful to work with a coach who can actually see your blind spots and help, coach and tweak them for you. But definitely look in other people and how they express and communicate. And also pay attention to what's the average energy level of people around you, okay? And I want you to begin seeing what someone's energy is as a sort of currency. I want you to view fun. I want you to view positivity, excitement, passion, enthusiasm, very great, deep degrees of appreciation, of joy, as a type of currency. And you're either making that currency or you're getting that currency stolen, taken from you, if you're around other people that are very dense, very logical, and very low energy. And the very dangerous thing about these people, being someone a part of PACE, is because you're naturally so compassionate, loving, empathetic, so much so to the point that we actually get disconnected from ourselves and we almost live in other people's energy fields and needs and what they want. And I felt this today, okay? I felt this today because instead of, because I'm still healing, I'm on my path, right? My fucking healing journey. Instead of listening to that voice inside myself that said, all right, let's finish this round, this 5-minute round, and then get new teammates. And even come up against any sort of friction I have in my emotional, energetic field at saying, hey, it was great playing with you, man. I'm going to get somebody else in here. Finding a way to say that in a win-win or positive or I just feel good about saying it kind of way. Because a lot of the time, as people part of PACE, we're very afraid to even create that boundary. But if you start to see it as, wait a minute, this person is stealing from me. They're literally stealing from me, because the longer I spend time with this person, you're influencing their field, yes, but they're also influencing your field. And how fucking hard is it to actually change someone else? How hard is it to go against their limiting beliefs? Look, I have to market and make these videos with as much passion and enthusiasm as I fucking have, whilst also breaking down these concepts in very entertaining, educational ways, over time, so that the people listening and watching these videos, listening to the podcasts, they're slowly kind of getting transformed by the content until they're in a position where they're like, you know what? This fucking makes a lot of sense. I want to work with Dante. That's like the average person. Some people come and they're like, immediately, this person's for me. I'm like, fuck yeah, wait, sign me up. Like, this is amazing. You know exactly what you're talking about. Let's fucking do this. Sure, I do get those as well. But I think for a lot of people, you have to be transformed over time. That's for most people. So like, in one fucking, 1 hour play session with this person, like, I'm not going to be able to change this guy. Okay? So it's much easier for you to instead distance yourself from these people and protect the fun. Okay? Protect your fun. And work on your own. This is what a lot of my videos and content's about. Generating your own state, creating your own fun, generating a really positive experience within yourself so that you can offer that to other people as well. And it makes you more immune to their low energy. So over time, I didn't listen to myself. I kept playing a few more rounds with these people. And I just felt my energy just getting like more low and more dense. Because every time I'm telling jokes or injecting my personality, it's being met with like maybe like a little chuckle, and then right back down to the baseline of, okay, low energy, logical. They're not even like understanding my fucking jokes, because my jokes are emotional. They're designed to get you to feeling good, like laughing, enjoying yourself. But if you're so like calcified and dense in logic, in low energy, and a lot of that again is trauma, triggers, limiting beliefs that most people, never spend time actually looking at. They're in a state of disassociation. They're in a state of trying to disconnect from their emotions using anything they can. Video games, Netflix, fucking, TikTok, substances, just focusing, worrying about problems, anything at all to suspend their attention so that they don't have to feel their emotions, because they don't have tools to deal with their emotions in a way that can actually transform them into more empowering states, which is exactly what I love working with my clients on, what I do on a daily basis, because that is the key to true transformation. If you don't do that, the best you're going to have is like, and I'll give you a little story about this as well. The best you're going to have is just numb. Like, you're just numb. Like, that's the best you're ever going to have if you don't actually learn these tools or get someone who knows how to use these tools to do it for you. So I was hanging out with some family of mine, and we were driving around. I was on a FaceTime call with a cousin of mine, and another family member was driving, and we had the FaceTime popped up, and at times we were parked, and at times we were driving. And when we were driving, I'm holding the phone with the FaceTime with my cousin on the phone, and he's talking about like how fucking stoned he is. And we're kind of like, I'm telling like all these stories and like reminiscing on all these stories where we used to like hang out together and do all these fun things, and we're just like cracking up, laughing nonstop, because like that is so fucking important for me. Again, back to, and it should be for you as well if you're part of PACE, going back to what's the currency? Fun is the currency. So if we're not in a state of inspiration, creating something right now, creating something, doing something, vision, inspiration, empowerment, oh my god, this is fucking crazy, helping people, changing lives, this is amazing content. If we're not doing that, then we need to be laughing. We need to be having fun. We need to be pumping our state and enjoying ourselves, so we're not sinking into that low energy, logic, shut down state. Because it's addictive. It has its own momentum. And you're wanting to make things easier for you. If you're constantly creating positive momentum where you're laughing, you're enjoying yourself, not only are you feeling good, but you're also getting access to like better ideas, creativity, impulses. Think about something that's funny. Think about what humor is for a second, as a side tangent. When you're laughing at something, it's like literally giving you energy. Right? You're taking that moment and you're making it like 50 times better. And the humor is something like simple. It's something that's fun. It's something that's uplifting. Now think about in a state where you're like, let's say, worried about making money. You don't have a lot of money. You're stressed. Think about how creative you are in that state. Typically not very creative. You're just really fucking stressed, and you have just very like one track minded solutions, and they're very dense. They're very exhausting. Requires a lot of effort. They're very heavy, and you don't really want to do them. But that's like as far as you can see, right? It's like being in a fucking snowstorm. Like you can only see like 5 feet in front of you. When you're in that like low state, logic, you can't express yourself, right? you don't have access to like great creativity. When you're in these higher states, when you're feeling really, really good, when you're having a lot of fun, that's where like these great ideas come from. Like humor. You can't access humor when you're in this low state, as an example. But what does humor do for you? It literally takes a moment and makes it like 50 times better. Because you're feeling good, you have access to that. But when you're in a low state, you don't have access to that. Try telling a fucking joke when you're depressed. Right? Try laughing when you're depressed. That, granted, watching comedy stand-up specials can actually help you when you're in a state of depression. It can actually get you synced up to like humor and like pumping your state. But trying to do that for yourself, manufacture that for yourself, really hard to do. So you want to be making life easier for you. We're coming from a place of having a lot of traumas, triggers, limiting beliefs. So you want to be creating a whole lifestyle, whole momentum, whole energetic, emotional ecosystem where we're feeling better and better and better. So I ignored, back to the point of the video, my initial story, playing with these guys online. I ignored my instinct, and I continued to play with these people. And it reached a point where I was just feeling worse and worse because I'm trying to joke, I'm trying to put my personality out there, and they're just like shut down. Or the one guy, the other guy was fine. If I got somebody else to join us, like that would have been okay. Because that guy was neutral enough that if you joked and stuff, he would easily like, he didn't have enough of a presence to like inject a lot of humor and fun on his own. But if you were bringing that to the table, he would like feed off of it and like also contribute. So you were able to like enable his personality to come out if you were bringing that. But the other guy, way shut down. Way too logical. Like I was doing so much to get such a little return. So over time, I'm just like, losing my fucking will to live playing with this guy. And I love the guy. Hope things get better for him. I'm just being honest about the effect that he was having. It was brutal, okay? It was fucking brutal. And eventually I reached this point where I was like, I can't sit here any longer. I feel the people pleaser in me that's just wanting to continue to stay, and I don't want to disrupt the flow. And that's the main thing that we have to fight against being a part of a pace, is not wanting to disrupt the current flow. We have to be so fucking selfish about our own emotional state. And eventually I got there, and I was like, hey, as we're loading into the match, I'm like, this is gonna be my last one, then I'm taking a break. And you know what the fucking guy said to me? The robot logical low energy guy? He's like, oh, come on, man. We're about to start winning. You hear the neediness in my voice? Ah, bro. Come on, let me fucking suck your energy. I can't do it for myself. Stay here so I can drain you like a fucking battery. Huh? Gosh. And the moment I heard that, I was like, oh, I should have done this fucking ages ago. Motherfucker, like he got me. Damn it, he took way more fun from me than I should have allowed him to have. And that's what these people want from you. Unconsciously, right? If you ask them that, he'd be like, what are you even talking about? Like, they're not aware of these things at like a conscious level. But at an unconscious level, they're like, I'm feeling good around this person. Like, I want them to stay. But they're not participating. They're not reciprocating. They're not also bringing the fun to the table. If you're the one doing all the work, you're going to burn too much energy. You're going to exhaust yourself. And again, this is what we have to be very, very aware of being a part of PACE, because we're too loving. Right? It's too untethered, it's too ungrounded. We're too loving, we're too compassionate, we're too empathetic, so we're going to want to give. And we have this delusional self-concept that we're these indestructible giving machines, that we can give forever. Like we're Olympic athletes of giving, and we'll never run out of energy, and it will be awesome, and we can do it for, we don't even have to sleep or eat. We can just give. Fucking take my liver, take this organ here, take my fucking blood. Like we can just give all, and like nothing bad will happen. Like that's the world we live in. In reality, if it's not being reciprocated, it's not sustainable. If you're not also feeling the fun, getting the fun, enjoying the fun, receiving the good energy, then you're going to burn out. So this is something that I want you to be very aware of in your own communication, expression, in your own like state, energy, but also in other people. And I want you to see fun as a currency. Okay, so when you're interacting with other people, you want to be bringing the fun by managing your own state. That's a big part of what I work with my clients on and what I do on a daily basis. State management's like fucking 70% of this shit right here. Okay, 70% of healing and transformation is managing your own state, being in a fucking amazing state, having an amazing experience in your body, okay, being inspired, being in a state of appreciation, enthusiasm, having fun, laughing, being in a good mood. That is a art form. That is a practice. That is something you dedicate yourself to. And you're going to reach these walls. You're going to hit these walls, these blocks, where you have a trigger, a trauma, a limiting belief that's going to stop you from moving forward, because that is locking up a certain amount of your energy. It's like an open tab on your computer that's like slowing the whole computer system down, because it has all these ads and shit playing, videos playing. It's just taking up a lot of power for your PC. So you actually have to exit out of that tab. And the equivalent of that for our energy, for our emotional system, is exploring, diving into, why do I believe what I believe, right? What am I feeling, and what must I believe to be true about myself or about the world, about my past, present, future, that's causing this reaction, that's creating this negative emotion, that's making me feel so limited. Most people never do that. They just think, oh, this is who I am, and they just kind of accept it. They adopt this very defeatist mentality. I want you to get in the habit of challenging all these negative emotions. That's not who you are. That's where your transformation lies. That's where your empowerment lies. That's just energy being filtered in a negative perception. When you begin to filter it through a positive definition, then you get that energy back, and it starts to actually fuel you, propel you, give you more positive momentum, make you feel fucking amazing in your body. So yes, it's state management, but it's also taking care of your trauma, limiting beliefs, triggers. Because without that, your state management is going to be capped at a certain amount. Right? Because the traumas, the limiting beliefs, the triggers are going to prevent you from actually going higher. You're going to try to go higher with your state management practices, like journaling, for instance. But then you have a lot of shame, because when you were 9, you accidentally dropped your parents' plate of food, and they fucking screamed at you, and then it just gave you all this shame and maybe even like fear and like worthlessness. And you're carrying that memory with you because you created a definition when you were younger about who you are, about your worth. And that shit stays with you into your adult years. So until we go back and revisit that memory, we don't have to do like really in depth, okay? There are practices and people, practitioners, therapists and shit like that. There's modalities that actually have you re-experience every fucking single second. That can be powerful. It is kind of intense. I've done that myself. I've dabbled with it myself. But what I find powerful is just to kind of very minimally, very, very gently, very softly go back to the experience, the memory. Sit with it for as long as you need to. And this gently just ask these probing questions to get to the bottom of why you feel that way, right? What you're believing, what your perspective that you got created when you were a kid is. And because right now, take from when you were a kid and that memory happened and where you are right now, so many years, so much time has passed. So you created that definition, that negative definition, that limiting belief, that trauma that says this is who I am, this is what I'm worth, or whatever it might be, right? That's for that specific example. You created it with a very low consciousness, low awareness, limited consciousness as a kid, child. But now you're, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and your awareness is expanded. You're way more wise. You're way more mature, way more aware, way more expansive. So when you bring your current level of consciousness back into that memory, using probing questions, using tools and exercises that I have and used and work with my clients on, because you're coming back with this very advanced consciousness into this very, primitive, let's say, very, very, very primal, very immature, undeveloped, childlike awareness where the perspective was created, that is enough to eradicate that perspective. But we got to go all the way there. We got to go deep into the subconscious, and we got to make sure that we get every little bit of that emotional charge out of there, so that you can actually be able to increase your state and not have it capped. Okay, so view fun as a currency and stop being around other people and over giving, because you're going to have this tendency. It's going to come out. Even me, right? Today, with all this work I do, helping clients, transforming myself on a daily basis, all the stuff I've overcome, I still have the tendency, okay? Because I'm still on my, healing journey. It's a lifelong process, but it does get better and better and better and better and better. It's not like, lifelong process like this, it's a lifelong process like this. But that tendency is still there even for me. Right? And that's something that we're working against. Like a shopping cart that the wheel is broken and it kind of keeps dragging the shopping cart off to the left. You have to be mindful of that. If you take your awareness off of it, you're going to crash into the aisle and knock all the cans over. So you're going to have this tendency to want to give and give and give. And the longer you stay in those situations, the more dense your own energy becomes, and the harder it is, like quicksand, the harder it is to get away from those people, to get away from that low dense energy. So see it as a personal attack. See it as someone coming up to you and like actually trying to steal money from you. But it's even worse. They're trying to steal energy from you. If someone steals your money, like you can still have mastery over your state and then just go make more money, right? Attract more money, manifest more money, allow more money. But if they steal your energy, now you can't even make more money. So see it as an even greater attack, greater threat than them taking your money. Okay? Be mindful of the fact that you want to overgive. And that these people, like, they have to reciprocate. They have to respect the energy of the dynamic, because it's not sustainable if they don't. If they're not also bringing stuff to the table, then it's not sustainable. You're going to run out of energy. And also be mindful again of this mentality that, no, it's cool. Just hop in the table. It's fine. Yeah, just hop in the table. I'll pay for all your dinners, you know, and I'll do it every time you hop to the table. And bring 50 of your friends. I'll pay for them as well. I don't have the money to do that. I don't have the money to pay for you, but I'll still do it anyway. It's like, it's all good. It's all good. Smash this fucking mentality, okay? Destroy it. Put it, you know, your hands around it and fucking strangle it to death, because it's killing you. It is a virus. It's a parasite. It is fucking pure evil, okay? It's not okay. It's not good. It's not good for you to comp the person, you know, and let them come to the table. If they're not bringing fun, if they're not bringing good energy, get them the fuck out, because that is what we're working against. This delusion that I can give and give and give. I'm limitless. I have all this endless fucking energy. It sounds great because we've gotten so much validation from giving. We've gotten so much safety and security and stability from pleasing other people. But look at where that's kept you. Really limited. Really small, feeling worthless, low self-esteem, low energy, really fucking anxious, insecure, shut down, limited, not expressive. We want more. We want to be expansive. We want to be expressive. We want to manifest incredible things, create incredible things, and have incredible relationships. And that starts with having higher standards for who you surround yourself with, who you tolerate. Even in a video game. Even in a video game. Anytime you're in a moment, an experience, a segment of reality where you're engaging with other people, fun, 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 fun. Bring the fun, create the fun. If it's not being reciprocated, get the fuck out of there. Okay, make your excuses. Have some maybe preloaded in the chamber to use, right? Gotta go, gotta take a break. Start being incredibly okay with leaving and stepping away, with communicating, hey, I gotta go, this is not working for me, blah, 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 your version of that. And if that is bringing up a lot of like, I don't know if I can do that, that feels really anxious, like, that doesn't seem possible, I don't like that. That is limiting beliefs. There you go. Those are your traumas, they're your triggers, those are your limiting beliefs that say, nope, you want to be this way, you want to feel better, you can't do it because you don't think it's possible, because you're afraid of what might happen, because you're afraid of how they're going to react to you, which is related to trauma. And it also just could be related to like a limiting belief that you have, like just a negative perception that you might have picked up from movies or your parents or society. It doesn't always have to be linked to trauma. A lot of the time it is. It could just be a negative perception that you're viewing the world through, negative lens. And you, once you explore that with your current consciousness, which is more aware, more mature, more expansive, more wise, you will immediately see the inefficiency of it, and you can choose a new perspective. If you want to learn how to do that, or want me to do it for you, tap the link in the description below and apply for one-on-one coaching with me. You can book a free call so we can meet face-to-face. I can hear your challenges, see the kind of transformation that you want to have, see what your goals are, what you're struggling with, and then we can talk about coaching, pricing, and all of that good stuff. Tap the link in the description below to get that free call, to book that free call, and to make that happen. When you tap that link, that's going to take you to my landing page, where it has a video that goes a little bit more in depth of what you can expect from that initial free call that you're going to have with me. There's a button to pick a date and time in my scheduling page, And then below that, you're going to be able to see testimonials from past clients I've worked with. I've done little interviews with them. And even below that, you're going to see a little about me page where you can learn a little bit about myself and see some stuff about me. So ending this video, I want you to keep this in mind moving forward, that you're not this endless, vessel of energy that can just keep giving and giving and giving. Respect yourself. Care for yourself. Okay? Be nice to yourself. Letting everyone take your energy, steal your energy, just so that you can put your focus in their energy field and feel like, oh, they're like, plugging themselves into me and draining my fucking energy, and they're happy. So you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and like slowly die because they feel good. That makes me feel nice, right? It's like those people that hike Mount Everest and they get so cold and like, oxygen deprived that the cold starts to feel fucking warm to them. They're freezing, but it starts to actually feel warm, and they actually start to even feel too hot with all of their clothing on that prevents them from freezing to death, and they'll actually start taking their clothes off in the middle of like fucking Mount Everest, right? Freezing temperatures, and they'll just die, but they'll die so warm. Same thing with heroin addicts. I remember I watched a YouTube video with this guy describing the overdose that almost killed him. He felt so good, right, laying there in the alley. He felt so freaking good, like, oh my God, this is amazing. But he did too much, so he was actually having trouble breathing, and he was slowly suffocating. And he knew this at a very like background consciousness level, right? He was like, this is so great. But a background part of him was like, oh, we're struggling to breathe right now. And he had to like push himself to like get up and like consciously breathe and like get to a place where he could like sit up and like get some help. And I think he might have gotten some medical attention. I can't remember exactly. But similarly, like that's the kind of effect that we have being a part of PACE when it comes to pleasing other people. Like we derive a lot of satisfaction from that, but it's very unhealthy. It's like eating junk food. It's like eating a bunch of cereal every day for every meal that you have. Like it tastes really good. We think it feels really nice, but it's not nourishing us. It's not healthy. So respect yourself. Be nice to yourself. Say no. If people aren't bringing that fun, that good energy, say no. See fun as a currency. See energy as a currency. And if you're not building fun, then get the fuck out of there. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope it was inspirational. Hope it was eye-opening. Hope it highlighted a bunch of really key, powerful things to help you step into more empowerment and really master your own energy so that you can have and cultivate incredible, incredible relationships. And if you want some help with that, I have a coaching practice where I work with people one-on-one. Again, tap the link in the description below to book that call with me so I can get you into my coaching programs and help you make radical, big change in your life so that you can feel amazing and attract the most amazing relationships of your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one.